Welcome to Neo Royal, House of Pricey Cardboard. On today's episode of Commander Gameplay, we are joined by Sam from the Commander Crunch podcast, as well as Brendan from the Create Commander YouTube channel. Create Commander is mostly focused on creating accessible and affordable deck lists, not shying away from combos to make sure your budget does not hold you back. Brendan has been streaming his brewing sessions on Twitch, and he recently released one in collaboration with the Children of Alara channel. The deck he brought today is a slightly improved Lathril Blade of the Elves precon. Like most tribal precons, this one is already punching right out of the box, so you don't need a lot of new cards for it to hold its ground at a regular table. Elfball is always a really fast strategy, and Lathril gives you access to good black staples as well as new elves from Commander Legends and Kaldheim. As mentioned earlier, Sam is one of the two hosts on the Commander Crunch podcast, taking members of the EDH community and making sure they can talk about sports. Jokes aside, Sam and Cheshire are not limiting themselves to talking only about Magic, and the podcast is a really nice way to get to know who's behind the Magic players we follow. Sam brought to the match his Commander Eesha deck. Having the actual title Commander on his card, this legendary burst soldier will gear up with auras and take out players with Commander damage, using the white enchantresses as card advantage to fuel his mono-white list. Our third player, Astropulse, brought the rakdos version of Wort, Boggart, Auntie. This is a rakdos goblin tribal list using Wort as card advantage to be able to sacrifice and replay the token makers, sacrificing them for various effects. For myself, I am playing my Vadrok Apex of Thunder. You will notice that this is an older game as my Magda has not been altered yet in the footage. Running Magda as a hidden commander, this list uses the jeskai combination to get a lot of value from casting non-creature spells. We have Dwarves, Vehicles, Jeska's Will, and Eesha of the Infinite for a pretty unique brew. I have a deck on the channel if this is something that tickles your fancy. Sam gets to start this off, and land drops a Myriad Landscape. I land drop a Mountain, while Brendan land drops a Verdant Catacombs. Astro land drops a Mountain, ending turn 1. Sam land drops a Snow-Covered Plains, and casts Soul Ring. He lives the dream and cracks the Myriad for 2 more planes on turn 2. I land drop an island, and Brendan cracks his fetch land for Overgrown Tomb at my end step. He then untaps and land drops a Swamp. He casts Arcane Signet and pass. Astro land drops a Swamp and casts Goblin Bombardment. Sam land drops a Bounder's Enclave. He casts Heraldic Banner naming White, followed by his commander, Commander Eesha. War glides on the simplest of drafts, while peace struggles against hurricane winds. It must change. I land drop an exotic Archer, unlocking White, and cast Imperial Recruiter. Entering the battlefield, I get to search my library for Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Brendan land drops a Forest, and inspired by Sam, cast his commander, Lathril, Blade of the Elves. Astro land drops a Smoldering Marsh, and casts Impact Tremor. The table grows a little bit worried. Sam casts Sigil of the New Dawn.
Which is a Peter favorite. He loves his card.
Going to combat, Eesha attacks me for 3. In second main, Sam casts Core Spirit Dancer. On my turn, I land drop a Mountain, and cast Magda, Brazen Outlaw. I then cast Smuggler's Sculptor, and pass. Brendan land drops a Swamp, and casts Farhaven Elf. Entering the battlefield, he gets to search his library for a basic forest. For his combat step, Lathril goes through Astro. On damage, Lathril creates 2 elf tokens. Astro land drops a Mountain, and casts Beetle Black Chief. Entering the battlefield, he creates 2 more goblins, and Impact Tremor triggers 3 times.
What to do? I feel like we just need somebody playing vampires and somebody playing like Merfolk. Can we have like a tribal table from the beginning of Magic?
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
Like the classic one. I was gonna say I've got my bird deck, but that's not their very classic. Like
Sam casts Concerted Effort. He heads into combat, sending Eesha to Astro. In second main, Sam casts Stout Vessel. At the end step, I tap Magda with the Copter's crew ability to create a treasure. From now on, at the beginning of each upkeep, concerted effort will share Eesha's protection from creatures to his whole board. I start with combat, crewing Magda into the copter. She goes to Astro for 3. On attack, the vehicle lets me draw and discard. In second main, I'll end up a plains, and cast another great pilot, Joyra, Weatherlight Captain. Brendan lands up a swamp, and cast Numa, Joraga Chieftain. At the beginning of combat, Brendan pays 2 to put a +1/+1 on Lathril. He then attacks Sam with Lathril, creating 3 more elves on damage. Astro lands up a swamp. He then casts his commander, Wort, Boggart, Auntie.
Auntie always knows which berries to lick, which Goblin to trick, and what to do when either goes wrong.
I just want to note that the mono white deck has as much mana as the green deck.
Yeah, it's wild. I love it. And for that reason, Brandon, I'm going to go for 3 in the air.
3.
Yeah, for pointing that out. I'm kidding.
Heading into combat, Eesha attacks Brendan. In second main, Sam lands up Ancient Tomb. He casts Silent Sentinel and pass. On my turn, I cast Monastery Mentor.
That makes good pilots.
I crew Magda into the copter and send it to Brendan. I loot on attack and discard Jeska's Will, which, even with Vadrok, is a weird decision. I guess I drew something nice. I cast the Antiquities War, creating a monk and drawing a card on cast. I then check my top 5 for an artifact revealing Chromatic Lantern. And then drop my own Myriad Landscape, shipping the turn to Brendan. Brendan casts Voice of Many. Entering the battlefield, he draws 3 cards. He follows it up with Bounty of Skemfar.
So cool and specific, I love it. It's like goes in exactly the elf deck.
He puts the basic forest into play and Elvish Archdruid to hand. At the end step, Astro sacrifices the chief and a token to deal 2 damage to Numa. And at the beginning of the upkeep, Wort returns the chief to hand. He then drops Auntie's Hovel, which is an absolute flavor win. He then recasts the chief, getting 2 more tokens. Sam then drops a plains. He draws an additional card with the Enclave ability. Going to combat, Eesha attacks me, while the Sentinel goes to Astro. In second main, Sam casts Ajani's Chosen and pass. On my turn, I put a lore counter on my saga and look for a second artifact. I reveal Cultivator's Caravan. I then cast Chromatic Lantern, drawing a card and creating a monk. My monks also get +1/+1 through prowess until end of turn. I cast the Caravan and get the same triggers. I cast Sensei's Divining Top, and out of artifacts, follow it up with a Veteran Motorist, scrying 2 on ETB. I then crew Magda into our copter again. Trying to lower the Elfball deck taking off, I send the copter and a monk token to Brendan. I do not loot on attack. On his turn, Brendan casts Jeskai Archers.
Power and toughness are equal to the number of elves I have.
Large. It puts the face paint on.
Or do I just basically give everybody else, a chance to kill my stuff? Whatever. I'm a creature deck. Damn it, I'm playing creatures. That's what I do. Alright, here we go.
He then casts another great go wide card, Wirewood Channeler. At the end step, Astro sacrifices 3 goblins to kill the Ajani's Chosen. Sam then pays 2 to the Sigil to get it back to hand. At the upkeep, Auntie returns the chief to hand. Astro then drops a swamp and recasts the chief once more, reloading his catapult every turn. He then casts Boggart Harbinger. Entering the battlefield, he puts a goblin on top of his deck and pass. Sam recasts Ajani's Chosen. He casts Ram Senior Edificer, before casting his first aura, Shielded by Faith. Astro reacts by sacrificing 4 goblins to deal 4 to Eesha, fizzling the aura. Stram and the Spirit Dancer still draw a card uncast. Avenging his commander, the Silent Sentinel goes to Astro, and on attack the Sentinel brings back the aura to enchant the Spirit Dancer, creating a cat on ETB. After all this violence, I untap and put the 3rd lore counter on the Antiquities War, turning all my artifacts into 5/5s until end of turn. I cast Whirlwind of Thoth. I hop into combat, sending my artifacts to Sam, who blocks with most of his board. He double blocks to kill the Sensei's Divining Top and takes 10. I loot on attack, and then pass. Brendan casts Llanowar Tribes.
That is, I'm counting them now. There's 9 of them. Dang it. One more and that's we're losing 10.
He casts Elderfang Ritualist.
Okay, so that's gonna be 11 green mana. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's good.
What was that?
Light fell down. It's fine.
Oh shit! I saw the shadow. I was like, oh no.
That's alright. My room's falling apart. It is what it is.
Using the massive amount of mana from the Wirewood Channeler, he casts Elvish Archdruid and Pact of the Serpent, targeting himself to lose 12 and draw 12 cards. He land drops a Swamp as land for turn, and casts Kemphar Shadow Sage.
Each opponent loses X-Slave.
Oh no! It is. Philip, this is how I won on the stream. On I came with it, but I did it with a cleric, so I forgot as an elf as well. Sweet. Help us only blue player with counter magic. You're only I hope. Nothing. Oh, that's okay.
Right.
Each of Brendan's opponent loses 13.
I am on 1.
Is it the moment where he taps all his elves and kills us?
Yeah, we just die.
Tap. Tap my elves
Oh wow.
and deal the final 10 to everybody.
How good is the Shadow Sage? I have not seen it not hit anyone for 12. It's crazy.
Well played. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Make sure to check out Brendan at Create Commander on YouTube and Sam on the Commander Crunch podcast. Thank you to the patrons of the channel for supporting us directly. Take care, my friend, and we'll see you very soon.